Day 2 at Cultivate, and today we're going to go through the trade show and look for some new potential plant varieties for 2026. Some of the things I had my eye on are some new SunPatiens, obviously, some new SuperCals. There's some really cool sunflowers in there. We're going to take a look at the Darwin Perennial booth and see what new perennials are available for us for 2026. And then we're going to also take a look at some new options for the weekend or hanging basket. I know many of you have loved our self-watering hanging basket, and we're going to offer new sizes and new colors coming up. So something to look forward to as well. So let's go ahead, head into the trade show and see what we potentially can find new for 2026. So you know how much we love SunPatiens. Today we're at the SunPatien booth, and just look at all of that color behind us. We're going to go in and take a closer look at some of the SunPatiens that are here, compare them side by side, and also take a look for some of the new varieties for 2026. So there is just so much color. This here is the SunPatien Vigorous Purple. So now we actually don't carry the Vigorous series because just the regular compact ones that we carry, they get large enough for what we're wanting to grow in the greenhouse. So there's the compact series, there's a compact purple candy. We've loved the purple candy in our landscape this year. It's such a bright, vibrant splash of color. Compact hot pink would be something that pairs really nice with that compact purple candy if you're looking to pair a couple colors together. And we're really excited that finally the compact royal magenta is back and available again for 2026. So this is an improved variety, better habit, more flowers, nice, vibrant, bold coloration. One thing I am noticing is because of the lights here in the trade shows, these colors are very skewed from what you're actually seeing on the screen. So you can't really take the color on the screen as the tried and true color that the plants are going to be in your landscape. It's adding kind of an orangish cast to all of these plants. We've got the compact lavender splash, which is another great bicolor blooming SunPatien. A lighter pink with that bright pink splash center. Compact deep red. Kind of looks a little orangey here in the picture. But this is a really vibrant fire engine red in the SunPatien collection. I'm also loving the pink flash. This is a new color for 2026. It's a little bit of a corally color. There's a little bit of a white halo there in the center. So that will kind of extend out into a little bit more heading towards that pinkish orange color. Compact rose glow. We grow this one in our landscape a lot, and I like how it's that rosy color, but it kind of has a little sheen of purple to it, and that's kind of that glow effect. We've also got the compact lavender, which is just a nice, I'm going to say a bright lavender. It's not super light, so it's just a nice bright lavender color. And next to it is the classic white, the compact classic white. And this is one that I use in my landscape, again, a ton. And I especially like using the white because the white just glows, especially in the night. It makes your landscape really come alive. For those of you who love orange and a nice, good, bright orange, compact electric orange is going to be one of those very shocking orange colors. So there is a color for you as well. Compact purple. This actually is going to be the purplest of the varieties of SunPatien. Would I say it's purple? Probably a little bit more of a pinkish purple in my opinion, but definitely going to be the closest that we're going to get to that deep purple in this collection. And then the last is a compact red candy, which is another great bicolor bloom with majority, it's a pink flower, but then in the center there's that red splash, and that just really, I think, makes those flowers pop, especially when you're dealing with those two tones of color. I'm just loving this beautiful collection of the SunPatiens, and we can't wait to bring you most of these colors in 2026. We're in the SuperCal booth right now, and this is a great way for you to be able to see all of the various colors of SuperCals side by side. Again, the colors are going to be a little off because of the lighting here on the trade show, but I'm just going to tell you quickly kind of my thoughts and what I'm seeing with looking at these plants. These are great plants for the south especially. They're very heat and humidity tolerant. They also handle the rain really well where they don't get all floppy. They stay and look really nice. So let's go ahead and take a look at all these SuperCals behind us. This is a SuperCal Pink Mist. It's a very light pink, a little bit of a pink and white kind of mix going on. Very vibrant one if you're looking for just another bright splash of color with a lighter color petunia. This pink mist is gorgeous. Yellow Sun, this is an improved variety for this year. Yellow Sun features a really rich yellow colored flower with a little bit of a golden yellow center. Rose Pink is a very vibrant pink color, nice rosy rich pink. I love how it really has that little bit of that white eye in the center as well. So that really creates quite a nice contrast. You can't go wrong when you're dealing with whites, and this is the Pearl White, which is very crisp, clean white SuperCal. Matches with any of the other varieties if you wanted to create a container combination using a lot of colors. Purple Dawn is a really nice, rich, deep pink. It's got a little bit of a veining, like dark veining in the center. This is one of the colors that I used in my containers at home this year, and I love the color. Rose Star has a really unique star pattern to it. As you can see, it's like a bright pink with a deep magenta star-shaped pattern. This is a new variety for 2026 called Coral Star. This is a really unique looking flower form. It's got shades of corals and pinks and oranges and yellows. I'm seeing a lot of different colors shine through in this particular one. So this one really can be paired with a lot of different colors because there's a lot of different colors that are just like shining through and represented in this flower. Next we have the Red Maple, which is really a deep orange color, but it does have little red hue to it as well. A nice fall color if you like to plant in the fall. This is a perfect color, warm color for the fall garden. SuperCal Bordeaux is a really beautiful, deep, rich red. It's got a nice dark eye. So if you're looking for, another great fall color or even summer color as well, this Bordeaux paired with that red maple would be a stunning look. Sunset Orange features shades of yellow and orange and kind of a mixture of both, depending on the age of the flower. Depends on the color the flower is. It looks like some of the newer blooms are more of that orange color, and as the blooms age and fade, they lighten up a little bit to yellow. Shocking Pink is a new variety of SuperCal, and this one is a really bright pink, again with that nice white eye, which really makes this flower pop. Yeah. Royal Red, another new variety. It's so fun that they're adding these new varieties in. This is not a deep red, but more of a bright red, and it has kind of a shimmer on it. So as we're looking at it, the flower actually looks like it shines. And the last new SuperCal introduction for 2026 is the Blue-Eyed Rose. And this is a gorgeous rosy, deep pink. It's got a shimmer again to it. And then the eye of it does appear as it's a blue eye. It's actually kind of white in there, but because of that shimmer and sheen, it's giving us shades of blue as well. So this is a pretty cool new SuperCal coming out in 2026. One collection of plants that we added in this year, because we were at the trade show last year, was a huge collection of the Dipladenias and Mandevillas. When I was walking through this booth last year, there were so many different color options, and before I think we had maybe 4 to 6 different Mandevilla Dipladenia colors, and just seeing all of the different colors that are available, I'm like, you know what, we got to carry a whole lot more. I love Dipladenia because they're very drought tolerant. They're great for the hummingbirds. For those of you who maybe aren't the best at watering, these plants are very forgiving. Like if you go a couple days without watering, usually they're going to be just fine. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the new introductions, some of the introductions that we've been carrying on the website. I'm going to talk about some of the different habits of some of these plants, the flower size. So just an excellent collection. Let's take a closer look at it. So new variety that we should be adding in for 2026 will be the Sundinia Suprema Vivid Pink. The thing I like about this one is look at all the different colorations. So again, this is based on the age of the flower. If you're going to get that deeper pink, that lighter pink, you probably won't see so much the white. That's a little bit here because these plants have been in the trade show floor, so it's really kind of affected the blooms because they're not getting that proper UV lighting that they'd get outdoors. But this is a very aggressive, taller, climbing variety. So this will be really fun to add into the collection. Fired Up Coral. This is the one we grew this year, and a lot of people love this. So this is more of an upright Dipladenia or Mandevilla Dipladenia. It's not going to get super tall, only about 12 to 24 inches tall. So it's not one that's going to climb and grow up a trellis. It's more of an upright. Mix it in with your petunias, or create a mixed combination, or just plant it singularly. Put in a hanging basket. Let those hanging basket hangers kind of hold the plant upright. But look at those beautiful blooms. A little bit smaller than Mandevilla flowers. Typically the Dipladenia flowers are just a little bit smaller, but a gorgeous coral color. This is called Original XP Pink. This one too is a little bit more of that upright habit, a little smaller flowers. Gorgeous coloration. And here's another Fired Up Coral. Let's go take a look what else they got. This is a Sundinia Red Improved, really deep, rich crimson red blooms. I love here how they have this mixed in. They're kind of a mixed combination. Trying to work our way around the booth. There's a lot of people in here. It's busy today. More of that Red Improved. This one here did really good for us. This is the Sunbeam. Gorgeous yellow flowers. Typically when you think of Dipladenia, you probably think of reds, pinks, and whites. You don't necessarily think of yellow. And I just love this. What we actually did is we took 5 different colors and mixed them all together in a hanging basket to create a really cool blend of colors. When we saw this, we knew we had to have it. This is the Sunparasol Bluephoria. And this is really the first I've ever seen before blue Mandevilla. And you can see it's got gorgeous, and I should say this, okay, blue and purple in the flower world are often interchanged. So these are actually to your eye purple, but it's called Bluephoria. So the fresh new blooms come out as this gorgeous pink, and then as those flowers age, they age to a gorgeous purpley blue, and then that's how you're getting kind of the different colors going on all on the same plant. So I thought that was really cool. Obviously there's white, everyone's familiar with the white. Mauvulus is a really kind of a splashy effect looking Dipladenia. Kind of a softer, I don't know, just a different mauve. That's just going to say it, mauvey pink. Fired Up Orange. You're seeing a lot of orange and yellow in here. You're actually not going to see as much yellow out in the landscape. It's going to be more that orange color. Again, the lights are kind of creating a little skew of color here. This plant was everywhere last year, like all over this trade show floor. So that's why, when you start seeing things repeated over and over, it's like, that's got to be something good. We got to try it. So that's one thing with going to these shows, is they're very influential on taking a look at new varieties that are introduced, and this is how we know what we want to add for the next year. I mean, when we see them at these trade shows and the reps are talking about them and telling us more about them, it's educating us. Education is key, and this is where we get our ideas. Another place we get ideas are from you, the customers. If you've seen plants that you're like, Heidi, you've got to carry this plant, why don't you have it? I love it when you leave suggestions for me, because with the SuperCals, for example, that was a customer that said, why don't you carry the SuperCals? Like, I don't know, I didn't know what they were. So because she had mentioned something, I went and looked for them, and that's why we added them into the collection. So, the Bluephoria, just kind of showing you some of the various plants. There's a nice little carousel of color as well, more of that vivid pink with that nice deep pink, and then the lighter and almost whiter shades as the flowers age. So this is always such a beautiful booth to go to. So much excitement. People are always hanging out in here, checking out these new Dipladenia and Mandevilla varieties. Came across the Sunfinity Sunflower booth, and we added in some new Sunfinities this year. And there's 2 more we're looking at for next year. So I'd love your feedback on what you think about these. So the nice thing with the Sunfinity Sunflowers is that they bloom all summer long. You know, your typical seed sunflowers, they send up the flower goes to seed, and it's done, which is great for those type of sunflowers. But if you can have sunflowers that bloom all summer and give you that vibrant yellow color, think how cool that could be. Let's take a closer look at some of these varieties. New this year, we added in the Sunfinity double sunflowers. So these are planted at the top of our waterfall garden, and they've been doing fantastic. They're getting full sun all day, and then they're also handling a lot of wind because it's really windy as the wind is whipping across the cornfield there. So the Sunfinities are known for blooms all summer long. So once you plant them, they just go until like a first good hard frost. They get about 32 to 40 inches tall, so they're really a nice size sunflower. They can handle a little bit of shade, so let's say part sun to full sun, and they have a nice bushy upright habit. We do no deadheading, so we're not out there having to clean them and deadhead them to keep them flowering. They just continue to go all summer long. So what we're looking to add for next year would be the Sunfinity yellow and red. So these are beautiful bicolor blooms, and the thing with these is these flowers are huge. So let me kind of put my hand there behind. You can see it's like well bigger than what my hand is. The bicolor, the yellow and red bicolor, feature that center eye there, and it just really, it creates a pop. The thing that made me kind of stop and look at these is I love the look of sunflowers, but when I saw these big flowers, I thought, wow, this would be really cool because it's just so much bigger of a flower. Now, I don't feel like they have as many flowers as what the double did, but because the flowers are so much bigger, I think that that's going to give just a bigger pop of color. So not only is there the yellow bicolor, there's also the Sunfinity yellow with the dark center. So if you looked at like that more, I don't know, just rich, bright yellow, kind of traditional sunflower look, the Sunfinity yellow, I think, would be a good choice. So I don't know, what do you think? Would this be something that if we'd added into the collection, it's something that you could foresee planting in your full sun garden? We're at the Classic Caladium booth right now, and look at this gorgeous array of the proven winner Caladiums. There's a couple new varieties I want to point out for you coming in 2026. So there is this new Cream Brulee. I think that's got kind of a really unique and different color than what a lot of the Caladiums we've carried before. Also, there's this really gorgeous Midnight Oil. And Midnight Oil features near black foliage. There's a lot of deep green undertones, but there's also just a little bit of red as well. So it kind of gives that oil on water, that sheen look, which it's kind of, you know, I keep looking at these leaves and thinking, am I seeing what I'm seeing? But I definitely am. It's I don't know, it's really odd to describe, but really cool to look at. The nice thing with Caladiums is they can be grown in sun or shade, depending on the variety you're looking at. Sometimes you'll find some of the more white ones are going to be more of your shade varieties. Your darker ones can be more your sun varieties. But a lot of these are versatile in both sun and shade. It's just a gorgeous array of color. These are great for using in containers. You can use them as your thriller. You can plant them alone to have just that, you know, beautiful color, foliage color. Another thing I should point out too in this booth, in addition to these heart-to-heart Caladiums, they have the Alocasia Emerald Isle. Now, Emerald Isle is a Alocasia, also known sometimes as an elephant ear. And we've been growing these for a couple years now, but I wanted to show them to you here in the booth as well. Extra large, huge, glossy green ruffled leaves. We use these in our aqua pots. We use them as a thriller. And they get about 3.5 foot tall or so in our aqua pots, and are just one of those plants that as people are walking past, they kind of keep questioning, what is this? Like, what is that plant? I gotta have one. It's just because it's such a big leaf and something different than what a lot of people typically see in a container. We talk about bloomables a lot, and so this is the Darwin Perennial booth, which is where we get our bloomables perennials from. So let's take a look at some of the new introductions that will be coming in 2026. So some of the new shade plants coming out are some new Vernera. There's a couple different varieties here. Frost King is one of them. It's just got really nice big leaves, zone 4 to 9, about 16 or so inches tall and wide. Also, there's Frostbite. You'll notice this one, it's a little bit more silvery, not as thick of veining going on. And then Frostline, which we're seeing a little bit more thickness to the veining going on. And also Permafrost. So it's kind of funny when you look at Bernera, it's like, okay, what is the difference? So I'm going to try to back out a little bit to show you kind of just some of the different patterns that are going on with the various plants kind of all in one shot. So there you can see comparison all together. A few of the other new varieties we are trialing right now are some new Coreopsis. The beautiful tricolor and then the solid orange there. And then what's really kind of, I think, a big thing in the booth today is the new penstemon. So there's 3 different series of penstemon. Summer Sweets penstemon is going to be the tallest in the series. There's Summer Sweets Purple, Summer Sweets Ruby, and they get about 34 inches tall, zones 5A to 8B. And you can see the colors and kind of the height here going on. These are a little shorter than what they're going to get in a landscape, but nice colors. And then a medium height would be the Mountain Treats series. Mountain Treats, the flowers are a little bit different. I'm going to actually back up to show you the Summit Sweets flowers, so you can kind of see more outward facing on the stems, where the Mountain Treats are a little bit more of a nodding type habit. Not a ton more nodding, but a little bit bigger flowers as well. A couple different colors. There's the rose, the fuchsia, light pink, and lavender. And these are 24 inches tall. And then the most compact in the series is the rock candy. And there's a purple, there's a coral, and then also a pink. Now, I like the rock candy because they are the most compact. I feel like the flowers, because they're all really tight on the stem, give the most vibrant or the most shocking look of color because they are so closely together. Where the other 2 series are a little bit looser from flower to flower. Not that one is better or not, it's just a preference of mine. So looking at the different varieties, I would think if I wanted a tall one, the Summit series looks really good to me, or for a shorter one, I would go with the rock candy. I think my least favorite in this grouping is the Mountain Treats, but that's just, again, a personal preference. One of the biggest stars in this Darwin Perennial booth is their penstemon. So they have a compact, a medium, and a tall series. There's things that stand out differently from one to another. Number one, the compact series, which is a rock candy series, is hardy in zones 5 to 8, only gets about 12 inches tall. And I love the compact, dense habit, gorgeous flowers. There's the rock candy pink improved, the rock candy purple, and then the rock candy coral. So just compact, dense flowers, dense habit, and just a vibrant splash of color. Then the medium series is a Mountain Treat series. These are not quite as hardy. They're hardy in zones 6 to 9. So we're losing it a little bit on the cold end, but we're gaining it on the warmer end. And they get about 24 inches tall. So we've got the Mountain Treats Lavender, the Mountain Treats Light Pink, and then the Mountain Treats Fuchsia. One thing that's a little different is these flowers are a lot larger than what the rock candy series are. They're a little bit more, I don't want to say droopy, because I think that's partly because we're in the trade show right now, so it's doing that, but just definitely larger flowers, not near as tight on the stem as the rock candies, just a little looser feel. And then the tallest series here is the Summit series, which is basically that rock candy series on steroids. These get about 34 inches tall, and we have the Summit Sweets Ruby, and then right now the Summit Sweets Purple. So I think it would be really cool to plant the rock candy in the front and then the Summit Sweets in the back, and then alternate the colors so that you're getting kind of the penstemon look going on, but from a short perspective, a front border, and then something taller in the back of the garden. So excited to try these. We've got them in trial right now in our gardens, so we'll see how they continue to do in the trials. but this is a great look at them side by side as well. And one thing you can't not talk about when you're in this Darwin Perennial booth is the sombrero cone flowers. So there's actually 14 different colors in the sombrero series.
Really pretty,
and as the sign says, sombreros are known for better branching, fuller habit, good hardiness, and better blooming with heavier flower set and more saturated flower colors. And definitely when we're looking at these flower colors, I mean, this just is a vibrant display of pinks and oranges and reds and yellows and just so many gorgeous colors. So if you have not tried the sombrero series yet, there is a color that is waiting for you. There's just so many gorgeous choices. I think one of my favorites is this adobe orange. Also the lemon yellow, you can't go wrong with that. But then I'm going to say there's the pink and there's all these colors. So many great choices. But one thing we do honestly like about the sombreros is in our trial gardens, they are reliable every year, coming back with the gorgeous blooms we're seeing here today. So we sell a ton of the weekend hair hanging baskets, and typically they're black. But we're going to be adding in some new colors this year because you've asked, so we're going to add in some new colors. So some of the new colors we're going to be looking at here is this deeper forest green, which I think is their second most popular color, this sage green, and then also this tan color. So if you're looking for some different options of colors in the weekender baskets, we're going to be adding those in. Also, for those of you who love our tower of baskets that are at the greenhouse and want something bigger and just a bigger statement piece, we're going to be adding in this big guy here. So it's going to have those chain hangers. It has a water reservoir, so these are self-watering hanging baskets for those of you who are not familiar with the weekender planter. And these guys here are 28 inches across, so it's quite a large planter. When it's filled up, it can weigh about 60 pounds or so, so definitely it's a planter you're going to need really good support for. But for those of you who are looking for just that massive display, you have maybe a bigger house or a spot in your garden that you're looking for something really big and prominent, we're going to be adding these 28-inch planters in as well. So something to look for in the near future once we start getting them built out online. So I just wanted to show you that, to show you more colors are available, new sizes are available, so something to be on the lookout for. Thank you for walking through the trade show with me today. Hopefully there was something that you found that you're excited about for 2026. I know there's a lot of fun new things coming in the future. I'd love to know, what was it that maybe stuck out to you as something that you're like, oh, that would be cool to see. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. And if you're new to our channel, I welcome you to subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings.